that's a Hornady Lock and Load AP Progress reloading machine, the case feeding system. You can see that's the whole assembly, which there's the main body, the steel round tube, there's a case tube arm, a holder, and there's a slider, and also one of these case pushing slider as well. So that's the whole assembly. So now I want to show you guys how we put it together. So that's the main body. You can see there's a clear acrylic tube there. This is a set for the pistol cases. So if for the rifle, you might need to want to cut it off, make shorter, then the case will drop freely. So this is not glued, it's just tight fit. So use a tool, hold it, twist it, then it will come off. So then you can adjust the length if you use a rifle. But if you use a pistol, you don't need to adjust it. This is a perfect length for the machine, for the work. And then that's the top slider, which is sliding into there. And then this with a bearing at the back there. So when this pusher come out, push this into the position, the case will start dropping. So now we start to put this together. So that's a little steel spring. Before we do everything, make sure we put a bit of lubricant. That's the super lube I'm using the most. So you don't need a lot. So mainly this area. So this area is the most moving parts will go through here. So make sure you put lubricant here. There's a slider. If you want it, you can put a bit there. Yeah, and these parts, internally there, inside here, maybe a bit on the bearing bit here. So that should do. Now we put a spring back there, slide in, hold it, start to lock this screw. Just make sure that the spring is behind the screw. So this way. Okay. Might be need to loose a little bit. Loose a bit more. Okay, just to make sure that spring is there. Double check here. Oh no. Loose bit. So it's a tank. Okay. Back there. You want to make sure the springs are behind the locking screw, otherwise it won't work properly. So once it's on, lock tight here, lock. You try to push a few times, you can see they move freely, and they go all the way to the end, which align this at the bottom here. When you release, it come back fully to the end. So that's what you need it. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so that's the finished part. Then this one, there's a little case push slider you do when you put on the machine. You just slide this into the location here. Then this slide into the original steel bridge there. Then just put the bolts on the machine. So that's how you put these two together. At the moment, you don't need it. So we put the center steel pole. Actually, lock into there. We need two screws. Okay, let's put the screws here. We need a bolt. When you put on the machine, you don't need this. Use this on the machine. The Hornady reloader, this already have a hole there. You just straight into it, but for the moment, I just want to bolt them together so they don't falling apart. So just a little bit you hand to lock it. Okay. So that's how it looks like when you put on the machine. This bolt into the original hole there, put on. So that's house assembly. Then it's time to put this little case feeding tube on. So slide from the top. It's a little bit tight. Maybe loose a little bit. Just a little. Right here. Okay. Just need to be loose. Yeah. Make sure they're loose. So this way. Okay. Not too much. Okay. Yep. So that's all the way. Push it down. Okay. So this angle is quite important, because you can adjust it, but you want to make sure this straight pointing into this hole, because this way the case will drop straight into it. If in different angle, it won't work. Once you put on the machine, make some adjustment, make sure this pointing to the bottom slider, and keep the clearance about 2 mil, 3 mil. If you use the rifle case, you probably want to raise speed up, give more clearance, but for the pistol, 2 mil. Good enough. So once you put this on, then you can start to tighten this bolt here at the back, two of them. Not super tight with this plastic. If you do too tight, you may crack this plastic. So because this is moving, so it's hard to do, but that's how it is supposed to install. So yeah, need to be tight. Okay. So that's once you put this both parts on, then later what you need is just one of these case adapter. So this 9 mil, that's the 38 special, and the 357 and 44, they're all different adapter. So what you need to change, the whole machine you don't need to touch anything, but the only thing you need to change will be one of these adapter. The adapter's got a D10 at the back there. So you're pushing, wiggle a bit. Then you can feel it's clicking. Once it clicks in, you never move. So that's put on. After that, then the case feeding tube, then that's a clear acrylic. You put on top, slide in. When you fill up the case, you just pull the little pin out, the case will drop. So that's the case will drop and pushing, moving. So that's the whole how it works. Then when you finish this case, you can put it out, fill up another tube, put on top, start over again. So if you want, you can purchase a few of this tube to preload a few, then it save you some time. Or you can buy the multi-tube holder, which has got 4 tubes together, is turning like a rotation sort of holder. That's optional. That's you can purchase separately. That is, you can hold more than 100 9 mil cases, the multi-tube. So every tube finish, just click into next one. So that's add a bit of convenience to the machine. But the single tube, that works good now. So okay, so that's the whole assembly will finish. So once you put on the machine, do some tuning. Yeah, just to make sure the angle, the clearance, everything's right. Then put a few empty cases, start to give it a try. So remember this one, this little case push slider. When you lower the arm, the lever, so this one goes up. Once it goes up, you push the top slider into the position, the case will drop. When this lower down, this will push the case into the shell plate. So that's how it works. Okay, so that's all for now.